Vico is a 7 times grand finalist, Red Bull contested winner, and qualified for the Global Championships, as well as having over $100,000 earned from competitive Fortnite. Welcome and thanks for coming on, Vico.
Hi, thank you for inviting me to the interview.
First up, where does the name Vico come from?
It came from the game Star Wars: The Old Republic. It was like a remade game from like Star Wars, the movies and shit, and all that stuff. And there was like a character in Star Wars: The Old Republic called Victorion, and it like my mom tried to get the female version of it, and because Victorian is like a male name, and the female version of it would be like Victoria, but Victoria already was taken, and there's like a brand called Victoria's Secret, so my mom didn't want to choose that. So she just combined Victorion and Victoria, and then she came up with the name Vicotrauna, and now I'm just basically stealing her name and making it as my brand.
That's really interesting. All right. Can you talk a little bit about how you got into gaming and specifically competitive Fortnite as well?
Well, I got into gaming because of my mom. She was a esporter back then for the game called like World of Warcraft. And I always like when I think when I was like 2 years old already, I started playing on a computer, trying to like learn about the game as well because I thought it was interesting and it's like a fun hobby. So I just started to game because of my mom basically, and ever since then I just wanted to be an esporter just like her because it's like just like my hobby, like gaming in general. And I think like making a hobby out of your job, making a job out of your hobby is pretty fun. And then when I was playing World of Warcraft, and then a game called Overwatch released, so I started playing that, and I tried to go esports in that, and then like I made a lot of friends in Overwatch, and some of them started playing Fortnite, and they told me about it, so I just tried it out, and it looked pretty fun, so I just started playing it, and now I'm here.
So assuming that your mom is in esports, I'm assuming she's very supportive of your own esports career. Nice.
Yeah. She is supportive of that.
All right. Next up, what does a day in the life of Vico look like?
I wake up at 7 a.m. usually because of school. Then I dress, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, all that stuff. And then by 7:30, my mom drives me to school. It's like a 15-minute drive, and then I usually have school from 8 a.m. to around 3 p.m. When I get home after school, I like take a 30-minute break, learn for school a bit, like especially maths because I'm not that good at maths. Then I eat something. I take a quick nap still to get like my power back, and then I usually play customs with Pink, or if there is no customs, like he doesn't want to play customs, and I usually just stream for a few hours, and then by like 11 p.m. my time, like Central Eastern time, I usually go to bed, and then same routine every day.
Nice. All right. Now moving on to a little bit more Fortnite focused, but I think of you as a player. I think of a player with really fast mechanics. Can you talk about how you develop those mechanics over time?
Well, my mechanics started. I always had good mechanics, I'd say, because of like my fingers move really fast, and I have really stretchy fingers, so I was always able to like do the weirdest stuff with them and just have quick mechanics. But like my mechanics started getting better and more noticed when I started like Noah Rayleigh, because back then I think it was chapter 2 season 2 or something. It was Stark season, and I really liked watching him because he had like really fast and consistent mechanics. So I just tried to be like him, and I played like maps like Raiders Edit Cores, Raiders Peace Control maps, and all that stuff, and I just started getting into my muscle memory, and yeah.
Nice. You really looked up to Noah Riley?
Mm-hmm. I really looked up to players like him with like his fast mechanics and good aim and all that.
Cool. All right. So in 2021, you were a top 500 player in EU, whereas in 2022, you jumped all the way up to a top 20 player in EU and PR. What do you think changed for you as a player in that time?
My mentality. So what changed in that time? Probably like how I looked up in the game, because in 2020, as you said, or 2021, it was like I just like played to play. I just played to have some fun, played with friends and all that. But over time, it started to get more competitive and competitive for me, because I just wanted to make a living out of this, and I started to change like my way of looking at everything. So I started to play like Kovacs. I started to play like mechanics apps and all that stuff to improve my aim, my mechanics, and my mentality as well. I just improved it as well over time. And then I started playing with like people like Jackson and Rypex.
Yep.
And those people, like, they just showed me like how much importance there is to like actually actively think in the game and like all that stuff. And then when I started doing with Jackson, we just always had a really good chemistry because of trios back then.
Yep.
And yeah, then we just did good. We had a coach called Razaru. He was a former pro as well back then in 2019, I think. He was a pro player.
Yep.
And yeah. And then he just like helped us get better, helped us like think as well, like through the game and stuff. And yeah, now I just work with people like Bloodix and all them.
So there's a combination of good coaches and then also getting to work with and play with better players, and then also just taking the game more seriously, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds great. Your big breakout tournament, or your first major win, for me at least, was the Red Bull contested win. And that was a tournament that happened with very few days from the start of the season. Can you talk about how you were able to prepare for a tournament like that on such short notice?
Well, I prepared for the tournament by playing like ranked. I just looked at the meta and how it was, and then I just like tried to think of different ways on how I can use that stuff. And I instantly saw that it was like a no movement meta, so there wasn't like stuff like shock was in the game or anything in competitive.
Yep.
But since it was public servers, there was cars and everything, and I just used all that to my advantage. So I looked at my spot where I landed on pink split. And I just looked what I have and what I can work with, and then I just abused it and won Red Bull.
Nice. All right, now let's move on to some global championship questions. First of all, congratulations on qualifying to the global championships. First up, why do you think you and Pink work so well as a duo?
Well, we're both, when it comes to like playing Fortnite, we're both pretty serious about it, and we both just like want to play every day, all day, basically. And Pink just has a really like winner mindset and just always wants to win and do his best he can. And I basically want the same, but I just don't have this stronger like winner mindset. Pink definitely has the stronger one there. But when it comes to me and Pink playing, we just both like we just work together. Like there's like it's like that connection between us, you know? Like we both have like a good humor together. We both like to play with each other in duos and all that stuff. It's what makes a duo.
Of course. Was that connection instantly, or was that something that you had to develop over time?
No, we had that connection insta. Because we wanted to play earlier already, but Pink wanted to play with Nebs first, and then I said, okay, I'm just gonna keep on playing with Kylie. And yeah, we both didn't qual, and then we both were at our lowest, I guess. But then we started to duo, and it just insta worked out. We started doing better and better. Pink, yeah.
All right. Do you have anything that you can give us a little sneak peek into some of your strategies going into Copenhagen?
Well, we don't. We're working on our strats right now. We don't really have any strats going into Copenhagen, I'd say. Like we don't have any like big strats. We have some small strats, but the small ones always make a big one, so I can't really leak the small ones.
Yeah, of course.
When it comes to big ones, we just don't really have a big one yet. Like one huge strat that's just gonna win us 6 out of 6 Ospawn, but we have been working on our Ospawn strats, and like we're working on our Ospawn strats, and we did do a good drop map. Like we got a really good drop map that I've worked on it for like the whole last season, and since nothing around us changed really, like when it comes to drops, we still have probably the best drop map for our split. So we're working on that.
All right, continuing with Ospawn, you're still planning to contest Pink split, correct?
Yeah.
And are you concerned about potentially getting contested by Acorn and Cold going into global championships?
I'm not really worried about it because in Red Bull, Acorn tried to contest me as well, and on the practice day, it didn't really go out well for him. Like I just rocked his stuff. I hit a quick 3-0 on him, and then he just dipped away from me. But I don't really think they're gonna contest us anyways because as well as Acorn and Cold are smart players, we are as well, and I don't think they're probably not gonna 50-50 us. Because if they should do, then they're just going to lose on it because we're definitely going to drop them. And when it comes to fighting, it's maybe going to be risky because Cole is a really good fighter, but I don't really think it's gonna be a huge problem with them contesting it or anything. We're just gonna split the split, and then we're gonna play out the games, and whoever calls.
Whoever goes. All right. So what are some of your expectations going to global championships? Are you expecting like top to win, top 5, top 10?
For my current situation, I'd say we're maybe a top 10 team. Like, we're not gonna win, but we're working on like all of our stuff and like our mentality, all that. And if we fix all of our like the small mistakes that we currently have, we're definitely a contender to win, I'd say. And probably we're definitely gonna be a top 3 duo. But for my current situation that we are in right now, we're definitely not a top 3 duo.
What are your plans between now and the global championships? Like, how are you gonna what are you gonna be doing to ramp up your practice and to ramp up your preparations in preparation for the global championships?
Well, I'm definitely gonna try to actively think more. So I'm just gonna try to like involve myself in everything. Think about if the play that I'm doing right now is actually gonna work out, if it's actually worth it, and all those stuff. And I'm also working on my breathing techniques, because there's like some breathing techniques that you can do to like reduce stress and all that. And I'm really like having problems with like stressing out in game sometimes, because I can only function like one thing at a time because of my brain. So I'm working on that with Always Poppy. And yeah, Bloodix is basically helping us like with this meta, understanding the meta and just all that stuff, so we can know what to do and all that.
Are you going to be hitting any of the VOD reviews between now and global championships?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're gonna hit a lot of VOD reviews, but the problem is probably Pink is gonna hit more than me because I still have school, so I have to focus on that as well. But it's like during the day I can probably hit some VOD reviews as well with them.
Can you talk a little bit about how you balance school with being as successful as a competitive Fortnite player? Because from what I'm aware of, it's very difficult in Germany to do homeschooling, correct?
Oh yeah, it is. It's basically impossible to get homeschooling here. But well, I balance it because like I'm really talented when it comes to school. Because my mom, when she was in school, she only like had the grade A or like 1. I don't know where the person lives, so I'm just gonna say both. But she always has the best grade, and I definitely got that from her, like that genetic of just being genuinely good in school without having to try that much.
Yep.
But otherwise, I just take like 1 hour of the day learning for school, and that's like right after I come to school. Like from home from school, I just take the time learning, and then I just play all day, the rest of the day.
Nice. All right. And then, do you have any big plans for after global championships, or what you're gonna continue doing?
I'm definitely gonna continue doing I'm definitely gonna continue streaming I'm gonna try to stream every day if I can, and I'm definitely gonna try to like keep on doing my YouTube content, because currently it's working out really well for me. But I don't want to stop grinding as well as I'm doing right now, because the most important thing is once you're up top, you always want to stay up top. Otherwise, and if you just don't grind, then you can't really stay up top. Only if you're Tayson.
Only if you're Tayson. So thank you for coming on. But finally, where can people find you?
You can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. Everything under the name VICO TRYONA. Vico Trauna on every social.
Thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Bye-bye.